What is up? What's up? What's up? Crypto Nation. Man, what's going on? So, guys, if you missed the last video, I was talking about ShrimpSwap finance and how this token right here definitely, I know we talked about a couple of other ones maybe, but besides bourbon, I think ShrimpSwap is probably gonna be a big thing. And right now there's a bunch of other tokens that are kind of stealing the limelight at the moment. I think we had like Panther Swap that came out of nowhere, and that had taken over real quick. And then you had what was it, Panther Swap? Then another clone of Panther Swap came out. It's called jaguarswap, and that's making some headway right now as well, which kind of halted a few other projects like caramelswap. A lot of people took their eyes off of caramelswap when they start seeing these other things. That's what I think. So my plan with caramelswap is I cashed out the rest of the liquidity I had in there, cashed it out, and the price went down to about 17 cents after I cashed out. When I cashed out, I just went ahead and cashed out the rest of the liquidity at around like 35 cents, 35, 36 cents. It dropped all the way down to like 17, so that's fine. What I'm going to be mainly looking for is I have some farm or some pool left with caramelswap, but it's under the communities tab with some of the community coins that they are partnering with to keep generating MEL. And basically all I'm going to do is leave that in there until I can see what kind of engagement Caramel is going to have. I mean, if it drops back down and the devs don't come back, basically what happened was that caused an entire crap storm. And that's why I went ahead and just pulled everything out as much as I could, because the announcement that they had made today about the dev being in the hospital, or the main dev being in the hospital, and like, to me, if you've been in crypto long enough, when you start having to go to level 1 excuses of things like that, like why things ain't happening, in my opinion, those are things that the dev should come out and say themselves, but when you got to give out things like that, it's not that it can't happen, but when you got to say things like that, to me, that is exit strategy 101. When you've been scammed enough and burned enough to know what these things look like. To me, when you do things like that, you're trying to feign hope. You're trying to feign hope, and that either means you're getting greedy as the dev, and you're trying to get as much as you can before you completely walk out, or simply it is what it is. Shit's happening. There's delays, and you leave it up to the community, which you try to beg the community, don't leave, things are going to take longer. But I guess what that really bothers me, the fact that they are trying to get things done, and they have gotten things done, is really, really cool, because they're trying, right? Unfortunately, with this space, money moves so fast, it changes hands so quick, or I should say changes wallets so quick, that people don't care about excuses. People just want results. People want inflation. People want an inflation of the price, I should say. People just care about that. They don't care about what's going on a personal level. So when I saw that personally, I've been through enough to know that if you're having an emotional clinging to some of these tokens and these projects, an emotional one that goes against your better judgment, instinctive judgment, then you're probably going to end up getting yourself burned, and you're not going to have anybody else but the plane but yourself. So I simply pulled out, like I said, because that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wait to see what it does. If it looks juicy enough to jump back in, that it's gonna show some promise of they're actually going to kind of bounce back from this, then I will definitely buy back in. But at this point in time, again, I'm looking for newer projects, fresher projects that are looking to improve on what caramelswap is trying to do. You know, also when I look at caramelswap, that was the second resurge of life that project had since it first came out. So, you know, for a lot of projects, that could be it, or that could be their last chance. You know what I'm saying? My concern is why it never really held anywhere over $1 is kind of what bothers me. Is, you know, I'm just like, the project seems really, really solid, and maybe it's just back to the drawing board with them. Maybe they have to actually start completing all these criteria that most people feel comfortable with to be even more trustworthy. But again, they're gonna have to starting all over again. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens with that. But ShrimpSwap looks freaking solid. They're still working on some audits too, but you know what? Audits, the only thing you can do with an audit is apply and wait. And so it's kind of hard to put that into a roadmap on a certain quarter, because you're not guaranteed to be reviewed and approved or in a single quarter. You don't know. It takes a while. You know how many people are applying for the same thing? So you gotta take that into consideration. But man, their dev team is strong. The community is strong. They have put in a lot of work into the tokenomics, into the breakdown of what they're trying to do, their docs, their GitHub, their roadmap. Everything is laid out. Everything is laid out. You can see what they've done so far versus what they need to do here in the future. The market cap has grown to 2 million, 2 million locked in the platform. $2 million, that's crazy. I mean, that's good. For startups, that's good. People don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? It went from having like 800 and something thousand to 2 million locked. So what that tells me now is, and when you look at the charting looks like it had dropped, it recovered a little bit, and now between the 2nd or the 1st of May till now, it's found that level. It's finding that level. It's still finding that level at about 6 cents. So it went as high as 20 cents, dropped all the way down, and now it's staying level around 6 cents, which tells me that this is the time where more and more people are starting to buy in, and it's starting to level out. That price is going to increase slowly, but for the most part, this is kind of where you want to jump on and ride it. Jump on and ride it to see if you can get to that previous all-time high. Now, if you can get to that previous all-time high, right? It's a little struggle to get there, but if you can get there, I mean, from there, you know, then, you know, you definitely got to be on edge and be watching, have a little bit of patience, but follow your gut. You know what I'm saying? Follow your gut. This time around, I'm following my gut. I'm not gonna wait and be ultra greedy and be you know what I'm saying, be ultra greedy to find out what's gonna happen. I'm just gonna take my winnings when I think it's the best time. Sit back and wait. You know what I'm saying? Sit back and wait. But yeah, you know, this is a damn big thing. And with Shrimp Finance, I went balls deep, man. I put in I got another 51,000 tokens in there, and the staking is pretty damn good. Staking is good. You know, just depending on how it is, I think I'm gonna stick with this, and then continue paying attention to the other projects. Again, some of the other projects that I'm in, like Elon. That's ERC20 if you want to check that out. Meme token, Elon, ELON. And what else we got? We got Bonfire, which has made a complete turnaround. I mean, it was looking pretty sad, guys. If you've been following Bonfire, you realize that it had like one of the biggest crashes ever, and nobody thought it was coming back. I didn't think it was coming back. I was absolutely shocked to see the comeback that it had and the complete just takeoff that it's had since it crashed and damn near burned. But Bonfire, we are in Safe Moon as well. Safe Moon has been taking off pretty aggressively since all the news have come out. And, you know, that's what people really wait for with projects like that. With Safe Moon and Bonfire, those projects are going to be a lot different than the fast-paced movement of, let's say, a Binance Smart Chain app, right? It's a lot different because... Jesus Christ, what is this truck doing? It's a lot different because the amount of people that it takes to take the pool, eat up the pool, and the volatility. Whenever you have a huge pool, you have the most volatility and that's why the people that jump in really early with a big sum of money, that's why they can afford to cash out early and not have to wait for people who don't have sizable purchases. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, when I bought into Safe Moon, I only bought because I wasn't sure about it. I only put in like a little bit of change that I had from some caramel tokens. It ended up only being like 23 million tokens. So I didn't put a lot in there. I'm not one of these people that go in and will put freaking, you know, 5 BNB, you know what I mean, like $10,000, $14,000. I don't do that. That's too much to gamble, and they have to hold on to that way too long. But when you do jump in and put in a large sum of money, like $10,000 or something, if you jump in the beginning of something, you don't have to wait very long to try to get your money back and or to get a good return back. You could be one of those people that put in a shit ton of money, and right now you're the one that's selling because it's at an all-time high, right? Or not even really at an all-time high, but at the leading all-time high. You're on the rally, so you can be like, oh shit, now you can really count the zeros. But if you only have a little bit in there like me, you got to watch those zeros go from where it's at all the way up to close to a penny to really see any kind of benefit to jumping in. At this point, for me, it does me no good to pull out. Does me no good to pull out. It hurts me if I sell. So I might as well just let it go on and see what it does. You know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily like tokens like that. But what I do like about it is that it's building up, and when it does really get to the point where it's taking off and it's accepted and it's revered and the price shows it, then you can look forward to saying, I'm gonna get paid. But the movement with Safe Moon right now and things like of that nature, Bonfire, that's gonna take some time to actually mature. Unless you put in a shit ton of money and you're gonna wait for it to mature. You know, that the name of the game is to get in early with these things and have the patience to wait. You know, I haven't been very patient lately in terms of where I want to put my money. I'm not putting my money in. I'm not gonna put a lot of my money up into these things where you have to wait an unprecedented amount of time for mass adoption. I'm not into that flow. Those are things that you can do when you're in a bear market because you have no choice. But we are always here on this channel going to be looking for not only those opportunities, but opportunities like dApps where we can have some fun, hopefully, and not lose more than we win, because you can make a really, really, really good money if you're constantly watching the market, constantly finding the newest thing that is going to be adopted, and going from there. So that's what I'm looking forward to. That's exactly what I'm looking forward to. Also, when I do these videos, I'm going to try and keep an eye on my vocabulary so that I don't get too distracting with the repetitive ahs and uhs, and somebody told me about that, so I told you I would work on it. But the game is volatile right now, and there's a lot of people that are actually they're preparing for a bear market. Yeah, they're preparing for the bear market. A lot of people are doing pullbacks. A lot of people are selling their altcoins. It's just it is the way it is. And so, this is the uncertain period where you have to really decide what you're going to do with your money. Are you going to buy and hold? Where are you going to put it in? Like, you gotta really figure out what you're going to do, because you don't want your money just sitting anywhere. And you definitely don't want it sitting in an exchange, unless it's like Kraken or something like that, where you can actually gain some rewards by keeping it in there and let it stake. But yeah, man, it is a wonderful time to be in cryptocurrency right now. It's a wonderful time to be able to earn and not just be out on the outside looking in. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people will not even budge trying to get into this market, especially with the price of Bitcoin being so high. People won't even budge to even think about getting involved with the market. But you can really get involved with the market and make some money. Like, you can really build. You can really, really build. You know what I'm saying? There's going to come a time where, this is kind of what I've been realizing too, is the opportunity for fast money are there with shit coins and meme coins, that I'm starting to realize more and more. The opportunity to make quick money is there. You just have to decide if you're going to spend the time and have the patience to deal with it, to sift through all the poop tokens to actually make a meaningful profit. The volatility with shit coins it's so high, and you can get into a token right away, right? But just know that when you jump into a token, let's say that just released an hour ago, right? It's a meme token, classic shit token. It's got some buzz. You have to kind of gauge when that buzz is going to be up, or when you're going to jump out, and what you're willing to settle for as far as making, because it could be usually the pump on these shit tokens are very fast and volatile, and you don't want to, let's say, sometimes it could be a matter of an hour, sometimes it can be hours. Sometimes it could be 24 hours. Sometimes it could be a couple of days, and then it's gone. You just never know. And so, it can be a little tiresome, little tiresome when you are investing in these types of tokens, and you have to spend a lot of your time sitting and waiting and watching to make your out. You know what I'm saying? Because you could easily lose a lot of money by putting money into a bunch of these little tokens, and then trying to sit back and navigate and wait for your exit. You can really lose a lot of money, because these things are violent, fast, and they're volatile, man. Like, like I said, you could put in a BNB now, and then freaking 50 minutes, 40 minutes, 30 minutes, that thing could be all the way down to zero. And you can't even get what you put in back. Like, that's how fast and volatile it could be. So, you just gotta be careful, man. You gotta be careful. This game has got all kinds of things going on that it can be a very, very scary thing for a new person coming in. It's already scary for people that are in. But if you're in the poop tokens, you got to have a strategy, man. You got to have a strategy. You know, it seems like a lot of the strategy, it seems like from most people that buy into these meme tokens, a lot of these people you're going to be seeing are going to put $50, $100, couple hundred. The big players you're going to see put in a ton of money. They're putting in BNBs. They're putting in, you know what I'm saying, big money. And you got to fight a lot of the little people that are nickel and diming. Oh, they're withdrawing $100. Oh, they're withdrawing 50. It's like, that's so pointless. But a lot of people get scared when they see people buying in with big money. They get a little scared and they start pulling their stuff out because they don't want to get washed. But it's like, what's the point? It's almost like you're jumping in a game full of novices. People don't know what the fuck's going on. Some people do. A lot of people don't. And that's why there's so much volatility. And it makes it really hard to kind of gauge where you want to jump off at, because so many people are buying and selling. Waiting for something to get to that perfect mark where you want it is like, it could be bad for you. If that's what you're going in there with, that full plan, like, I'm waiting for it to get 100 ticks before I'm out. You know how long it's probably going to take for you to get past 10 ticks? You know what I'm saying? For you to get to the 8th place behind the 0, sometimes, even with a lot of hype, sometimes takes so much patience, and sometimes it will seem like it's impossible because of the volatility of people buying and selling, that it never gets there. It can never get there, even though it's very feasible and you think that it should be possible. It just won't. It won't do it. You know, it won't do it because it's so volatile that it might never make it there. It may go to 0 before it makes it to where you think it's gonna make, because people aren't backing it like a normal project. You know what I'm saying? People aren't backing it like a normal project. And so then you have to either be in and wait for it to get to that point and have the patience, or you just have to get out or just stay out. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's different. It's different. What else did I see? We were in Trevon James's hourglass. I decided to actually jump out of that, and I jumped into a different project. And the reason why I jumped out of Trevon James's the hourglass, the hour.glass, his project, is simply because of something that he had said that made a lot of sense to me, and that was having the issue of the project not even really being an actual. There's nothing actually really working yet. It's basically like a pre-dev. There's nothing completed yet. It's in the works. So that tells me that you're gonna have to really be in this project for the ultra long haul, and with all of the BS that you got to deal with, that's not even your fault, but you would have to worry about on his end. And that BS being people getting involved and not possibly wanting to be involved based on him and his past. You know, you got to be okay with that. And I think that's going to be a big, huge hurdle for anybody that remotely even knows of him that are trying to get out. It's going to be definitely that. And I kind of got to the point where I was just like, you know what? I think it's going to be a good project, but what I think is this thing is going to take incredibly long to get going. and they don't even have it's vaporware at this point, in my opinion. It's vaporware, and I'm not willing to really sit by and just allow them to keep my liquidity until they decide when they're gonna put something out. I didn't get a bonus for that. You know what I mean? It would be different if somebody would approach you and say, hey, you know, we're trying to raise money for this dev project. You know, we're gonna invite, you know, 10 or, you know, so many people, this much stake in the game if they can make a sizable sizable deposit or something, you know, open, you know, with a close end saying that, you know, you gotta at least stay in this amount of time or whatever. That's something I would do, but I'm not willing to just wait and just let the project decide if it's going to be a real project or not. I'm not into that. So that's a big reasons why I don't do a lot of pre-sales. I don't do a lot of pre-sales, things of that nature, simply because it's really hard to determine if somebody is going to keep their word and actually, you know, deliver on their promise. It's hard. You know, when you buy a pre-sale, it's a really difficult thing. You're locking your money up into something that you're hoping will be a thing. You know, that's with everything, but specifically with pre-sales, you really got to decide if you're gonna have the patience for it, and it could pay off or it could not. You know what I'm saying? So with me right now, I'm not trying to wait that long. And I probably wouldn't have never invested if I didn't know what the plans were for the project. I probably never would have invested if I knew where it was and how long it was going to take for where it needed to be. So, you know, it is what it is. It's unfortunate, but you know, you got, like I said, you got to understand and know what you're doing, what you want to do with your money. That's what I want to do with mine. I ain't trying to wait too long to get paid. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to wait too long. So it is what it is. Anyways, guys, I'm on my way back to my appointment. I will be back. Catch you guys in a little bit.